My sermon topic to you today is, I was built for this. Story here today is in 1 Samuel chapter 30. It's a story familiar to us in the fact that all of us have lived through all of these things. You had to favor God from a child. You know things you did, other folk messed up and got in trouble. You got out of it. You didn't get caught, then nothing happened to you. When you went there and played with somebody that got shot, the bullet went right past you. It didn't hit you. Because God had his hands on you. He had to get you to where he already written that you would be at. And David is now somewhere where God has anointed him to be at, but yet there's somebody over him that's not anointed no more that want to stop him. And I'm talking about the church, because it's a kingdom of God. Saul was king over Israel, but yet God had left Saul because of disobedience. But instead of Saul, and David is really the king because he's been anointed. But the other one won't move out of place. I will help you with this story and say, God has anointed us kings and queens in Israel, but religion want to keep us up under them. And Saul is the sign of religion that God had anointed and lost God because of his own disobedience, but yet won't move out of place. So now God said, touch not my anointing. I anointed Saul king. Even though now he operating religion and using my word against the children of God. But don't you bother them. So if you got to run right now, run. I'll take care of that. David had plenty of opportunity to take out Saul's enemy. You have plenty of opportunity to take out those who want to do you wrong, but don't do it. Vengeance is mine, said the Lord. I will repay. You don't have to do nothing for me. I don't need you in this battle. I don't need you to fight. I need you to sacrifice. I need you to learn how to allow me to take care of your problem for you. Saul breathing hard trying to find David. King Saul, he want to find David because he don't want to relinquish what he's already lost, and he know David already has the kingdom, but I don't want you to take over what I've been over before. Because when you had the favor of God and you lose it, that's got to be hurtful to know when God had put you in place and everything was in your power. All God had, he gave to you, and all of a sudden you turn from God and disobey God to the point that Saul went to soothsayers and everybody to try to find God, to hear God say something to him. But while he going to them, David still is on the run. You got enemies that want to kill you that you love and you can't do nothing about it. I love my brothers and sisters in church, but they hate me because I'm not like them. Because God has made me different. Because I want God to keep me. Because I want to walk with God. All you can say about me, he think he's better than somebody. I don't think I'm better than nobody. I'm humble to be where I am. And I don't want to lose what I got. David had a repentant heart. He didn't want to lose what he had. Saul became prideful. And his arrogance took over him. Even though he was small from the beginning, when God blessed him, he became high. And he wanted to kill David. And David knows he wanted to kill him. But yet he's not the only one. David's on the run, and David is running, and everywhere you go, you got an enemy that wants to kill you. David goes one place to get away, and all of a sudden, the moment he gets there, he finds this man. He finds this man, this king called Achish of the Philistines, and they look and say, "You David, God has anointed you." Because when you came back into the city, the women were singing a song. David killed his slain his tens of thousands. Saul had slain his thousands. They said, "You David, you our enemy that been killing everybody else." And David had to act like he crazy when they find out who he is, because he gets scared. And sometimes when you're on the run, people, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but that ain't what God's talking about. No, God did not give us a spirit of fear. Flesh gave us a spirit of fear. When flesh sinned against God, sin came into the flesh. That's where fear came from. That's why you feel the feeling you feel when somebody coming at you. Because we're wrapped up in sin. And we were shaping in iniquity. And David gets scared and he began to spittle at his mouth. They allow his spit to run down his beard and bite up against the fence. And nose running and everything. So the man look at him and say, that joker mad. Meaning that he got an evil spirit and that boy need to possess. Y'all need to get him out of. Who in the world brought him to me? Get him away from me. Take him anywhere. Just get him away out of my presence because he ain't living here. He did all of that so they could get him away from there so he could go to a land, and he goes to Ziklag. But while he was there, he goes to Ahimelech. And he's the priest above all the other priests, but he's a priest of the Lord. And he goes to inquire of him to tell him, I'm hungry because I'm on the run and I'm hungry. I want to stay home and do what I've been doing. I want to do what's right before God. I want to do what God put me to do. But somebody hate me and want to kill me. And I can't stay where I am because every time I turn around, they're trying to kill me. And if I don't leave there, he going to kill me inside the kingdom. And I got to go. It's quite a story because Saul trying to kill him in the kingdom. Later on, David came back and had somebody in the kingdom killed. And because when God's showing you a story ahead of time how somebody want to kill you that you love, and how we come back and kill somebody that love us. I know that's a whole nother story. We get to that later. But listen to David now. David is on the run because the man he loves, Saul, wanted to kill him. And the priest Ahimelech says to him, he said, I'm scared of you because something wrong you coming here like that by yourself. But I do know what you've done. And I know God has anointed you because I know it for myself. The battle you won is not normal battles. The thing you went through and came out of going against giant Goliath and all that kind is not normal. Going out in the battle, killing people. God got to be with you. I don't know what's going on. And David said, I'm hungry. Give me something to eat. And they didn't have no common bread. He said, give me what's under your hands. Under your hand means under your power to give. Your hand means power. He said, give me what's under your power to eat. And he said, we don't have no common bread. Then he said, I only have the showbread. And you know, if you want to preach, you weren't supposed to eat the showbread. But David looks at him and he said, Ahimelech said, has your men been clean? All your men clean that with you? And David said, they have not touched a woman for over 3 days since we left for this business. Then he gives him the showbread. And David eats the showbread. Jesus talks about in the New Testament. See how David, when he was a hunger, that he went and ate the showbread. But David still was a priest. He was king and priest like Jesus was. That's why he was able to eat. That's why Ahimelech was able to give it to him. And David takes and eats the showbread with his men because they had been sanctified. And David, he said, have you got anything in here that I can defend myself with? He said, well, the sword of Goliath, the one that you slayed, is here. David said, can you give it to me? And he gives it to him. And David leaves. Because wherever you in a place, and even though you're running, God has safe havens for you to reside under. God has stops and places in this world when you're going through things, when you're running. It seems like you're trying to get away from an enemy that's constantly trying to kill you in the spiritual battle. God has safe havens for you to go to take care of you while the devil trying to kill you. Oh, don't think the devil ain't trying to kill you. He's trying to kill you all the time. God just keep putting you in places that go up on a little while so he can't get to you. He wants to get you, but he just can't find you. He can't find you like he can find some other. He's searching for you, but you got a word to tell you, resist the devil, and he'll flee. And now he coming at David, but he can't get to him because God got his hands on David. And David leaves there, and when he leaves, he hears King Saul hears that David had been there. He goes to the city of the priest in Nob. He goes to Nob And he asked, have David been here? To Ahimelech, the priest. And he tell him, said, yes, he came by. He came by and he asked me, he told me something. I gave it to him. He said, I gave him food. He said, Saul said, why you giving food and all the things and give him a weapon to try to kill me? He said, don't lay this to my charge. I didn't know anything about this. I didn't know. All I ever seen about David, that he fought your battle for you. When you needed somebody to be there, he was by your side to do whatever you asked him to do. That's all I know about this. That's why I gave him the thing. And who else is more faithful in your house than David? It's something about when you're faithful to God. Because when you're faithful to God, you're going to have more enemies than anybody else. I know you know about what I'm talking about. Try to be faithful to the Lord. When I say faithful, try to do what God will have you to do. And watch how many people don't like you. Watch how many people that's supposed to be right in the church when you begin to not like it. Watch how many people that's supposed to be in church before you were in church begin to look at you and say, oh, you think you better than somebody, but don't get yourself too high because you know you can come down too. You know what I mean? Don't think that you can't fall like everybody else fall, because you can fall too. Watch how many people, when God has anointed you, with chains on you because they sit there because they don't have what you got, become jealous. And Saul now, because he lost what he had, want to kill David because David got what he used to have. And it don't matter who it is that he got to go through. When you have lost the love of God, you talking about torment. When God sent that evil spirit to Saul, the Bible, that means that Saul turned away from God. So when he turned away from God, he turned back to an evil spirit. The opposite of God is evil. So the spirit that came back to him was from his own doing. And now that evil spirit with him, and he looked at the priest and said, you shouldn't give him nothing. I don't care what you say about how faithful he's been to me. He's trying to kill me. Now he's lying. And then he takes and tells the men that with him that killed the priest. Not just to kill Ahimelech, but killed every priest in his house. In the land of Nile. He said, every priest that's here of the Lord, kill him. Now here I am. A while ago, I abolished all the soothsayer and the fortune teller. Saul abolished all that out of Israel. He wouldn't allow them to operate. But now here you go when you turn from God. Now you're killing all the priests of God. I want to show you something. When a man of God turn bad, when a woman of God turn bad, that God called to lead his people, they'll bring anybody into the house of God and put them in position. I want you to catch that. Whenever we turn bad, that lead God people, we'll allow any spirit to come into the house of God and put them up close to us. And you allow them to kill God's children. Saul said, kill them all. Knowing that he was doing evil. And the men say, no, we ain't going to do that. That's something when you got somebody, you think you're in control of them. And you look around and tell them to do something. They say, you ain't getting us to work against God. You can counsel that. You can counsel that we ain't killing no praise. You do it yourself. You know, for you to be the king and in power and say you've been anointed and now you telling your army to do something, they looking at you saying, man, we ain't doing that for you. Do it yourself. That tells you something about how much power you got. Your reign is about over. Your reign is about over then. Even the one that's still walking with you saying, no, man. Hey, I'm not scared of a lot of stuff, but you ain't putting me against God right now. You do it. But there's always somebody around. There's always somebody there lurking around you. I don't care where you go at. There's always a spirit that the devil had got in flesh. That's your enemy. He's your enemy. He hates you already. He hated you before you were born in the flesh body. He hates you, and now he's born in the flesh, and he know who you are because he's the devil child here in the earth. And why you think you just got these co-workers around you? You think you just got these people that you're dealing with to your jobs and where you pay your bills and who you rent with and all this. You better get this understanding that there's spirits and people that were put here to operate against you. That's their whole purpose, to find you and work against you. That's why you're talking about warlocks. Warlocks war against you in the spiritual realm, and the devil positioned them to try to stop us from doing what God put us here to do. They get set up in churches, and everywhere you go, every part of government, there's some spirit that's waiting for you to come there so it can try to stop you. And Doug was there. When David went to Ahimelech to get something to eat, Doug was watching him. But God had retained him. God had retained him in that moment. God had shackled him so he couldn't do nothing to David at that moment. Because when God sends you somewhere, when God, even though you're on the run, even though you don't know where you're going, God got his hands on you. Nobody else can kill you until it's time.
This is the Kingdom Mind and Spirit Deliverance Ministry broadcast, and the great message you just heard was from Apostle Larry White, sponsored by Parker Bell Bonnet. We have services every Sunday at 11:35 a.m. and Bible study every Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 o'clock p.m. To obtain this sermon and many more, contact us at 252-389-9846. Thank you.